Basically like clockwork, every time FNCS comes up, we always have some Clix and Peterbot drama, and this time it is both of them fully crashing out on each other. We also got the official full Pro-Am announcement today. I want to talk about all of the teams, which duos are the best, and even give some of my early predictions. And we also got an entire Evo Cup to talk about as well. We have so much to go over in today's video. Real quick, so you starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try to upload daily competitive content for you guys. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code Dog in the Fortnite item shop. Follow me on my Twitch because we're going to be keeping up to date with all of the things to do with FNCS this week. So make sure you guys just go drop a follow. Without further ado though, let's start this video off with some drama and talk about the Clix and Peterbot beef. Alright, so a little bit of context before I show you guys all of the clips. Basically, Peterbot was playing scrims with Ritual and Miro, and they ended up keying Clix game 1, and then Clix ended up wiping Peterbot 2v3, and then Clix went into Faxity's chat and he wanted to let Peterbot know.
Oh my god, Sam God, this is Clix. Big baby. Wait, Clix said 1v3 on 30 ping while the one was knocked. Let's talk about it. Ooh.
0 FNCS wins in 5 years. Let's talk about it.
Yo.
Best POI in the game. Only one Div Cup win, and we had to crash 2 times. Joke.
Under 1 mil with 3 FNCS wins. Good boy.
Crickets.
Well, Pete did say
joke of a player. Joke.
Well,
Literally
Pete...
a joke of a player.
Yo.
Lavish Uncon got 4th place. Let's not talk about that, huh? I was landing on 5 chests that season, outplaced him.
Homie's losing his aura. Oh my. How you getting 1v3
no idea what he's
aura? It's the big Clix. Out of here. No coin, fall over. GG's.
Everything's
First time
yours.
He has our loot and gets on.
Did he just say that when he had 12 tugs in the vault, mythic AR and pumps?
0 splashes, 0 mythic, 2v3.
We're not the one running into a bunker.
He got nervous. He saw my aura.
He's bad at rage baiting.
I think he's losing aura typing. I'm not calling.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh God, not rage baiting.
I mean, yeah, he's rich, but he's dog shit, so like it's all good. Literally a joke.
But bro, if you die here, Pete, then this is bad.
I'm just waiting for him to peek on the left
well,
side.
But I also do feel like they're about to run at me.
They're running in.
Yeah, see? Oh my God.
Nice.
Oh my God, I can't see what's happening. Oh my. No!
Yeah, wait. Dead.
Dead.
Oh my God!
Winning FNCS my balls, bro.
Hey man, it seems like every single season when that FNCS time comes around, the Peterbot and Clix drama just hypens up even more. Let me know what you guys think about what each of these guys said though in the comment section down below. And let's actually move on now to all of the Pro-Am teams that got announced. Also, I'm gonna put up a picture on the screen of all of the current duos. So we got Power Alex and Loser Fruit, Thomas HD and Somerset, Cooper and Zimmy, Cammy and Jacob, Cold and Courage JD, Vino and Reddish, Rezon and Amar, Mr. Savage and Lachlan, Moxie and Cypher PK, Clix and Lacey, Regs and Nate Hill, Kanata and Stable Ronaldo, Gone and Flakes, Peterbot and Aussie Antics, Booga and Typical Gamer, Mongrel and Allier, Queasy, Nick A30, Podesai and Nikov, Seti and Daya, and then Koyota and Shada. Alright, so first off, there is some absolute powerhouse duos in this. Like Clix and Lacey is one of the most broken teams. I think as of right now, these guys have to far and away be the favorites. I think my second favorite team on this is Peterbot and Aussie Antics. Obviously, we all know how insane Peterbot is, and then Aussie quite literally watches the game for a living. I know Aussie isn't like the craziest player or anything right now, especially compared to some of the other content creators, but he probably understands competitive more than anybody else in this lobby that is a content creator, and he's also playing with the best player in the world, so you have to give him a chance to win. And then I think the other super good trio is like Kanata and Ron. Now Kanata is obviously one of the best pros in the game. Ron is a quite literal FNCS winner who's classified as a content creator. If you don't know how this tournament works, this is going to be a reload duos tournament, so this isn't like normal battle royale or anything. It is reload. I'm very curious if this is actually going to be going to heal offs, because I think that would take away from a lot of the hype of this actual tournament. There is some really good sleeper teams though, like Thomas HD and Somerset. Somerset's literally like a Div 1 player that has made heats before, that's getting to play with Thomas HD. We all know how crazy he is. And then I think like Booga and Typical Gamer and Cooper and Zemi are super sleeper picks for this as well. This should be a super fun tournament to watch though. I'm pretty sure it's is taking place in like 3 weeks time. Let me know in the comment section down below though what your guys' current top 3 for this tournament is. We also have an entire Evo Cup to talk about as well. So like always for the Evo Cups, we're going to quickly go over the opens, then go way more in depth for the finals. So starting off with in first place, we had the trio, a little bit of a surprising one of Golden Void and Ozone. They finished with 331 points, won 2 out of their 7 matches, and got 57 total elims. Second place was Visuals, Braids, and Diminish, the most recent Grand Finals quad trio. Actually, I just remembered Golden Void and Ozone also qualified for Grands, and the team under them also qualified for Grands of Bryce, G-Money, and Osid, and even the trio under them of Ritual, Code, and Peterbot. So the entire top 4 is Heat 1 Grand Finals qualifiers. Wait, and even the trio under them in 5th place of Noisy, Creon, and Tony. These guys were able to win a game in heats. So it's looking like the current teams that have already made Grand Finals are playing with just so much confidence right now. We do have a lot of other big names though, like 6th place of Rapid Booga and Threats, 7th of the FNCS champions of Agers, Acorn, and Poyo, 8th place of Noxy, Mason, and Virgo, 9th of Muzz, Yapko, and Rise, and then rounding out the top 10 was an EU trio of Chino, Pablo, and Marius. Some other big names we have in there is like Bakapars and Pump in 11th, another Grand Squad team of Shadow Curve and Tyler in 12th, back-to-back EU trios of Walks in 17th, Malibuka in 18th, a Grand Squad team of Joji, Dottie, and Craze in 19th, another Grand Squad team of Aviv, Skittles, and Chimp in 22nd, and then just barely being able to clutch up the qual in 31st place is the trio of Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs. They finished on 244 points. We're not able to win any games today, but finished the tournament with 64 total elims. I think there was only really one really big name team that was not able to make it, and that was unfortunately 57th place of Kanata, Bolts, and Sphinx. They only finished with 209 points, got 57 total elims. If you look at their match history from today, it was like a 13 elimination 11th, 19 elimination 2nd, 15 elimination 7th, 9 elimination 4th, and then they just dudded their very final 2 games to not have them be able to qualify for the Evo Cup finals. This trio's placement so far in tournaments since they formed together is 7th place in the Divisional Cup finals. They were not able to qualify for the last Evo Cup finals, and now they were not able to qualify for this Evo Cup finals as well. I don't think I'm necessarily like super ready to say I'm pressing the panic button on this trio. At the end of the day, it is just an Evo Cup, and I don't feel like they matter as much as some people try to make them out to be. But still, this team doesn't really have much practice together going into their group now, and I definitely cannot imagine that the vibes are all too well either. Let's actually move on to how the finals went now though. Now in the finals, it was only a matter of time before the trio of Ritual, Code, and Peterbot really locked in and got in that FNCS mode. In this tournament, these guys are also trying out some new strategies of not just fully W King every single game either. They were playing more games for Storm Surge tags and trying to emulate what some different strategies could be for grand finals now. And this team was also contested at the train for 3 out of the 4 games by a West trio as well. If you look at their match history from today, they were able to get back-to-back wins with 8 and 13 elims. Then they got a 7 elimination 8th and a 9 elimination 5th as well. Of course, the best trio in the world finished with the most amount of elims, getting 37 total elims, and had the best average placement in this tournament with a 3.75. Second place is a trio that has their heat coming up this weekend of Noxy, Mason, and Virgo. They were able to win the very final game, getting a 12 elimination win, and they were also just very consistent throughout this entire tournament as well, with their other games being a 5 elimination 4th and a 4 elimination 6th. This is 100% going to be a trio that I'm predicting to make it out of their group and into grand finals now. I really liked what I saw out of this trio today. And then the last team that was able to get a win, winning game 3, was actually a surprising EU trio of Akira, Kurma, and Wurex. Now these guys got a 7 elimination win. I feel like we don't really see the EU trios do too much in these NA Evo Cup finals most of the time. There's usually so many of the different ones that are able to qualify, but very few can actually get wins. And these guys are part of that very few, so huge shout out to them. Moving on with the rest of the leaderboard, if you don't know how it is tracked, it basically just goes by elims now and who got the most elims. So in 4th place, of course in 4th place, is the trio of Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs. This is now yet another week of them not being able to win a game in Evo Cups. I know that they were able to win last week now, but they weren't able to win the week before that, and they were not able to win this week either. They went from like far and away being the best eval team in the entire world to now I would probably only predict them to get like 1 or maybe even 2 wins max a week. Am I worried about this team going into grand finals? No, definitely not. They were contested for one of their games as well and were able to wipe the team off spawn. I think they are just the 3rd best team on NA right now, but I think they do have real potential to move into that 2nd place spot because of what I'm going to talk about for a trio in a little bit. But we also can't act like they literally didn't get 2 2nd places today as well. So I still have very high hopes for this trio. Another team that I have really high hopes for is 5th place of Rapid Booga and Threats. Now this was actually the 2nd most consistent team of the day. If you look at their match history, they got a 6 elimination elimination 7th, 9 elimination 4th, 5 elimination 4th, and a 5 elimination 4th. This team is basically getting that Clix curse for the very final 3 games, just pulling off 3 straight 4ths. I'm excited to see the real progression of this team from when they have first formed to where they're actually at now. This is 100% a trio that can pull off a top 5 in grand finals, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're even as high as like that 4th place spot. 6th place was Reed Cooper and Curly. They finished with 24 elims. 7th was Muzzy Apko and Rise. 8th was Joji, Donnie, and Craze. 9th was Shadow Curve and Tyler, and then rounding out the top 10 was Golden, Void, and Ozone. All right, now one of the teams that I want to talk about the most, and a trio that I might be kind of getting a little bit concerned for, is 12th place of Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. Now, I always try to say that I try not to put too much weight on how this Evo Cup goes, but these guys were also getting contested off spawn, and they weren't even necessarily winning a lot of those fights either. If you look at their matches from today, it really was not good. They got a 10 elimination 6, which is a pretty decent game, then a 0 elimination 14th, 0 elimination 27th, and a 4 elimination 18th. All I'm trying to say is this team's vibes already were not the best, and now especially going into their heat this weekend, this being the last tournament that they are playing before then, I am just not really super like as confident as I have been in this trio in the past as I am right now. I have been very vocal about vibes not mattering too much in Fortnite though, and especially if you are a team like Agers, Acorn, and Poyo, if they are winning, the vibes do not matter. But where I think vibes do matter is if you are starting to struggle like they have been today, and we all know the vibes have already just been off on this trio all season in general since they got back together after Poyo tried to leave them for Peterbot and Cold. Things could get messy super fast for this trio, and if this team does not perform well in this grand finals and they are still stuck with each other for the rest of the year, I don't even want to imagine what the vibes on this trio are going to look like. I do still fully believe in this team though. I think they are the second best team on NA, and I think they are one of currently 3 trios on NA that do have the potential to be able to win FNCS. We just saw them win FNCS last season. Acorn is the best IGL on NA. Poyo is looking like he is still as primed up as ever, and he's going for that 5th FNCS in a row, and Agers was just the second best player in last grand finals, so the talent factor is there on this trio. It is just going to depend on whether or not they can put the pieces together now. That was pretty much all I wanted to highlight for NA though, and let's actually move on to how EU went now. Now in EU, we saw a lot of different surprises today. I'm not even gonna lie, this was not how I expected this tournament to go at all. The teams that were able to qualify on EU though is like 1st place of Chap, Teeny, and Skavi. This is a trio that has been slowly climbing up my rankings recently. They are 100% a grand finals level team. They honestly probably have the potential to maybe even top 7 in grand finals. I am very excited to see how these guys are going to do in heats. 2nd place is a Nas, Sined, and Refsguard. Now these guys actually are going to be ending up conning Queasy today in the finals. I think they're just going there because that is where they're going to be landing in heat, so they want to get the most practice there as possible. And what better way to do that than literally fighting the best Seaport team in the entire world? I doubt that these guys would be going Seaport City though if they were actually able to qualify for grands. 3rd place was Dinas, Gross, and Frantic on 302. 4th was QB. 5th was Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. 6th was Pink Nebs and Kiro. 7th Pingwalks and Malabuka. 8th was iJump Sky and Scroll. 9th was Vexy, and then rounding out the top 10 was Kylie, Cheeps, and Una. So that does mean that we have 3 separate really big name trios that were not able to qualify, including one of them who has real FNCS win potential this season of 63rd place of Vico, Vino, and Flixie. Now I'm going to say the same thing I say for all of the players that are not able to qualify for Evo Cup finals. I wouldn't really be stressing this too much for them. I think it is really unfortunate that they're not going to get any more extra practice before their heat, since they are in the most difficult heat between any region in the entire game in heat 2, but they only finished with 194 points, won 1 out of their 7 matches, and got 84 total elims. The thing that might be a little concerning is this trio did only get 1 game inside of the top 10 all day today, but they were also just keying pretty much every single one of their games. But I still really wouldn't be too like concerned about this trio going into groups now. And then the 2 biggest names on NA in 133rd place was Mongrel, Turtle, and then Faded Pigeon. I'm not 100% sure if Faded Pigeon is going to be their confirmed 3rd for last chance qualifiers or if they're just trying some things out. I think Mongrel and Turtle are pretty confirmed. It just depends who their real 3rd is going to be. They only finished with 144 points though and got 42 total elims. This trio also only had 2 games inside the top 10, getting an 8 elimination 9th and then a 10 elimination 2nd. So definitely not the best day from them. And then another trio that didn't have the best day today was Vidil, Mr. Savage, and Rezon. These guys were also just dying in a couple of their mid-game fights. Their fighting chemistry didn't look necessarily the craziest today, but they were also just like trolling a lot of their games as well. I do wish I got to see them qualify for finals, since I do think this team needs the most practice possible, since they are one of the teams that have played together the least out of everybody that is going into group stages. But hopefully these guys are going to continue to be able to grind scrims. They finished in 138th place, only getting 142 points. points. Am I necessarily like super worried about this trio either? No, not really. I do still think that they have the potential to qualify for globals this season, but they really do need to start ramping up the practice now going into heats. Now in the finals, I don't feel like we necessarily had any like one super big name trio be able to do better than the rest. The team in first place though, the trio that won game 3 today was the team of Specs, Liam, and Splash. Now these guys finished with a 7 elimination win. I don't really know too much about these guys, I'm not gonna lie, but huge shout out to them for being able to get a win. Second place is a team that I feel like I don't know how I actually want to project them to do yet, and that is the trio of Cringe, Volko, and Kiduo. They got a 10 elimination win in game 1. This is a grand finals team. They were able to qualify after heat 1, finishing in exactly 10th place. So we do have to start paying a little bit more attention to this trio. I just don't know what my real projections are going to be for them quite yet. Third place is Vokes, Clement, and Splick. They won the very final game, getting a 10 elimination win. If you look at their 3 previous games before that, it was just absolutely awful, getting a 1 elimination 31st, 0 elimination 31st, and then a 0 elimination 31st again. So I mean, hey, if they're able to make it off spawn, they had a 100% win rate, but I mean, they were not able to do that too often. And then in fourth place, the team that won game 2, probably the only super good trio out of every single team that was able to get wins, was of course the team of Thomas HD, Uppel, and Panzer. They got a 5 elimination win, and then their other best game was a 3 elimination 7th. They only finished this tournament with 10 total elims though, and had an average placement of 10.75. I mean, hey, like I said earlier though, this is one of the weirdest Evo Cups I have ever seen on EU. So that means that a lot of our trios that normally are able to get wins were not able to do it, like starting off with in 5th place of iDrop, Sky, and Scroll. Their best games today was like a 9 elimination 9th and a 14 elimination 3rd. A team that a lot of us probably expected to do a lot better in this Evo Cup was Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache. They ended up beating Refscard off spawn 3-1, but their match history today was a 5 elimination 9th, 10 elimination 2nd, and a 7 elimination 5th. So they were decently close to being able to get a win, but still not really able to pull off anything fully. 7th was Rax, Predage, and Radion. 8th was Pixstar, Mandemus. 9th was Pingwax and Malabuka. Another trio that I did expect some more from. We did see them get a 6 elimination 4th and a 10 elimination 3rd though, so not like necessarily the worst day ever from them. And then rounding out the top 10 was Misha's trio. A trio that was an absolute boomer bust team today was 11th place of Chaptini and Skavi. They only had one good game today, getting a 16 elimination 2nd, and I feel like that is exactly how it's going to go for these guys in a grand finals. They are a team that has so much fighting power. I just haven't really seen too much real consistency from this team. I think they do have the potential to do super good in grand finals, but I also wouldn't be surprised if these guys just completely dudded as well. Some other big names was like 18th place of Venya, Pixie, and Marius. Sharks, Felix, and Noah Riley finished in 28th. They were only able to play 3 games today, and their best game was only a 5 elimination 4th. So honestly, a pretty rough tournament for a lot of the big name trios. Let's take a look at the final kin stats now though. So starting off with in 10th place with 3,198 was Darm. 9th was Rax. 8th was Kiro. 7th was Uppel. 6th was Marius. Going into the top 5 is Ghost in 5th, Sky in 4th, Thomas HD in 3rd, Swizzy in 2nd, and then a surprising first place player getting 4,819 is none other than the underrated Polish goat of Franek. Looking at the stat leaders, we had like 15 elims for Sky, 23 assists for Rax, and then a 2.58 damage ratio for Franek. Other than that though, I mean, hey, we had a lot of stuff to go over in today's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed all of the news. Let me know your guys' opinions on everything in the comment section down below, of course. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try to upload daily competitive content for you guys. Please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says they're enjoying one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at SillyKdog to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.